Alright, so here I have made an Amtrak arrival time calculator. And I've already entered in some times just because it's difficult to do this filming with one hand and entering with the other. So we'll click Get Estimated Time of Arrival. And there you see you will arrive at 1530 hours. And now we've gone back and the boxes are cleared out. So we're going to enter 2100 hours and 15 minutes. And we'll have a trip length of 180 minutes. I'm going to get our ETA, and there you see you've got a red-eye arrival. You arrive just after midnight, and a big nighttime clock picture just so that you don't miss that fact. And then let's put in way too many hours and minutes than you can possibly have. Oh, oh. And then for this assignment, the rules are that you can't have more than 1500 hour travel time, so we'll enter in an extremely ridiculous number. And there you can see you get pop-up toasts that say that you can't perform that time, and it clears the boxes out again, so you have to enter a valid time before you can move forward. So let's look at the code. Sorry about all the bad camera work. All right, so here we've got our base on create, and we're setting our view to main. And on our submit button, these are all the things that happen. So I've got an integer that I've declared called ready to go, and I use that to help me with error checking. So we'll come across that again in a minute. And here we pull the information from the text boxes and add that to shared preferences, which is part of the assignment, is learning how to store things and pull them out again later. And then here I'm calling my method called retrieve save times, which lives in my time converter class. And then here I convert the retrieved string information into integers so that I can do math with them. And I have an if-else statement that does the error checking, so you can't enter more than 23 hours, more than 59 minutes, or more than 1500 minutes travel time. And as you see after each one, if they're all correct, then just increment my ready to go. So that should equal 3 if they're all good. And then I call my hour minute converter class, which adds all of the minutes together and gets you your arrival time. So that's ready to go when the next screen's pulled up. And it says if my error checking value is 3 and nothing's been left empty, then start the new intent and clear out the boxes. So here is my time converter app. Or I'm sorry, class, not app. And here is my retrieve saved items method. So we're pulling the information back out. And then here I have my hour minute converter. I have 2 strings declared up here so that I can parse it into a string to display later. And we just do a little math, taking the hours and turning them into minutes, and then adding minutes to minutes, and then adding the travel length to the total departure minutes. And then we have some if statements, making sure it can't exceed 24 hours. So if it does, we subtract 24 so that if you go over, then you start at 0 hours for midnight. And then turning our arrival hour into a string version of that number. And then else, it's the same thing. You just don't need to subtract 24. And then here we are telling our ETA string to look like time, so that when we pull it up in my arrival time activity class, it looks properly on that next page. So then I tell it to display different messages and photos if it's a red-eye flight, or train ride, sorry. So I think a red-eye is described as arriving between midnight and 6 a.m. So if it's arrived before then display red-eye arrival and show my night clock image. And then fill in that text field with my estimated time of arrival. And the same thing down here. If it's not a red eye, it's just an arrival time and has my Amtrak train image and fills in the time. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Please like the video. Thank you very much.